This video is subtitled in English and Spanish. Este video está subtitulado en inglés y español. G'day Earthlings, Dr. Rank here, and welcome to Gaming Legends, the show that majored in game development but didn't finish the degree. Super Mario Maker 2 is the second game in Nintendo's flagship level editor series, letting players come up with the most creative ways to kill stuff they can think of. But as the god of this world, I should be enforcing the sixth commandment. Thou shalt not murder. How many kills does it take to complete Super Mario Maker 2? Keyword complete. The goal of this run is to finish all 120 levels in story mode while killing as few enemies as possible. If we ever accidentally kill an unnecessary enemy, we must immediately die or restart the level. What counts as a kill is defined by the game itself using the clear condition feature. Any asset with a parts clear condition that says to reach the goal after defeating all of this thing is legally an enemy. There are a few enemy-ish assets that don't possess such clear conditions, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Any action that would increment the counter for these clear conditions is legally murder and thus automatically banned. For most enemies, this includes things like jumping on them, using power-up attacks, and letting them touch lava or poison. Our final total will be the sum of all lowest scores for each individual level. We've also got a secondary scoring criteria, the number of levels beaten using assist parts. After dying at least twice in the same level, Luigi will allow you to place power-ups and blocks wherever you want, completely trivializing the run if overused. Pacifism still has absolute priority, but if we can clear a stage without using any assist parts and still keep everybody alive, we have to. And finally, letting Luigi clear the level for us is banned entirely. With the blueprints of the run established, let's get building. I'll be covering each level in the order I first attempted it, but similar levels will be grouped together. Starting with job number 1, a downhill battle. The first level, unsurprisingly, is littered with Goombas, one of the most fragile enemies in the game. The first set in particular is on a downhill slope, making it very easy to accidentally squash them while jumping. Fortunately, this level takes place in the new Super Mario Bros. U game style, which allows Mario to stall his mid-air descent by mashing the shoulder buttons, letting you practically fly over them. Just be careful when grabbing the fire flower. Spin jumping or pressing the run button as Fire Mario will shoot a fireball, which will instantly kill almost anything it touches. Also, the checkpoint in this level gives you a superstar, which makes murder much easier. No challenge is insurmountable though, letting us officially purchase the castle's foundation with no kills. Job number 4, Under the Angry Sun. This level features several parachuting Goombas that like to fall in pits, but pits only kill bosses, which Goombas aren't. The Angry Sun itself can only die from thrown items, none of which appear in this level. One caveat though, when touching the goal, all on-screen enemies instantly despawn and the sun will never move off screen. After some experimentation though, I've determined that according to the game, this is perfectly fine. Only enemies that died before touching the goal count towards the clear condition counter. Everyone else will teleport away of their own volition. This means Under the Angry Sun has a perfect score. Job number 2, On-Off Switch Research Expedition. This time we're in the Super Mario Bros. Game style, which has the most limited moveset of the 5. Most of the level is centered around on-off switch puzzles. Flipping the switch while an enemy overlaps with dotted line blocks will instantly crush them, so we have to time it carefully. The end of the level, though, takes us through a winding, narrow path blocked by piranha plants, which you're supposed to kill with a nearby star. There is technically a mushroom earlier in the level, but the path is too long for a single damage boost. This marks our first assist part usage, where we use a big mushroom and a fire flower to provide more damage boosts. From there, the level can be beaten with no kills. Job number 3, Hello 3D World. The 3D World game style works very differently from the other 4. Piranha plants, for example, can now be killed by jumping on them. The giant ones, though, always take 2 hits to die from jumps and fireballs. Just be careful when doing a cat dive. While you can cancel it by pressing R a second time, the reaction time to do so is incredibly short. It took a few attempts, but I did eventually manage a perfect score here. Job number 6, Underground Coin Collecting. This is our first level with a clear condition, but it's thankfully the coin variety. Coins are collected instead of defeated, so we can fill up our wallet to our heart's content. That said, the level itself isn't a complete cakewalk, featuring 4 rooms set up like Mario Brothers. Hitting a block will damage whoever's resting on it, and Goombas tend to only have 1 HP. The Koopa Troopas are a little more durable since they'll retreat into their shell when blocked, and they don't die when bounced on unless they're unshelled. Pom Pom also has a total of 3 HP, but each individual hit will cause her to spawn more clones, making the arena extremely crowded. All 4 rooms can still be cleared with a perfect score. Job number 9, the Keymaster. Every individual challenge in this level is done almost exactly as the devs intended. The only exception is the Muncher room, which you're supposed to clear out with a power block, but there's just enough space to jump up and damage boost to the key, and even then you can get 3 keys elsewhere and still finish the level. I was even able to get the true ending, which I'd never actually done before on a casual playthrough. No kills. Job number 5, the Mystery of the Haunted Manor. Aside from being careful around the spike tops, this level only required a little bit of problem solving. The first part of the level requires you to use Yoshi to grab a P-switch, and the path you have to take with him is blocked by a stack of Goom Buds that you're supposed to eat. But we don't have to satisfy Yoshi's appetite if we damage boost through them. Unlike most power-ups, Yoshi doesn't just disappear when you take damage while riding him. Instead, he runs back and forth in a panic, allowing you to remount him later. You might still accidentally jump on a few Goom Buds, but they're just resilient enough to survive it. Once you reach the P-switch, the level is basically over. No kills. Job number 15, no jumping allowed. Most of the enemies here can't be killed in the first place. Keyword most. Halfway through, there's a 30 coin that can only be collected by knocking it loose with a Bob-omb explosion. Bob-ombs die immediately when exploding, but on my first attempt I was so blinded by greed that I literally forgot about that. One reset rocket later, I managed to resist temptation long enough to finish with a perfect score. Job number 13, Drybone Shell Boating. Drybone shells aren't included in the Drybones clear condition, and they don't have a parts clear condition themselves. Since it's not murder when an empty Koopa shell is destroyed, I decided that Drybone shells and shellmets are fair game. However, while not killable themselves, they can still kill other enemies. Lava bubbles, for example, die when jumped on while wearing one, and this level takes you straight over them. Time your movements, don't linger around Bowser, and you should be able to reach the axe with 0 kills. Don't worry, Bowser doesn't fall in the lava, he only falls behind it. Job number on Dog 1, Swinging Claw Escape. The only enemies in this level are Drybones, which are some of the best enemy types to encounter in a pacifist run. While they do collapse when jumped on, they stand right back up, and they're also immune to fire, lava, and poison. However, they can still die from hitting the block below them, so be careful where you jump. The final stretch of the level has you riding a Koopa clown car. While it is technically classified as an enemy, it's only as killable as whatever's piloting it. Final score? Perfect. Job number on Dog 2, Swamp Escape by Shell. Most of the level is no different from usual, save for a close shave with the Banzai bills. And don't worry about them getting poisoned. Bullets are fully vaccinated. No kills. This is a long one, and my lung capacity is limited. Job number 7, Swinging Claw Ropes, course 11, Seesaw Catapults, 19, Plenty of Cheap Sheets in the Sea, 22, River Fish in the Forest, 24, Gloomba Clubhouse, 25, Bruce Towering House of Terror, 31, Deep in the Windy Valley, 34, Bumper Jump Around, 35, Muscle Trees, 36, Upside Down Stretches, 40, Blue Ring Course, 43, With a Lantern, 45, Lava Rising, 47, Lava Bubble Limbo, 52, The Darkness List, 62, Threat Level Porcuputter, 64, Fast Snake Walk Frontier, 68, Barnes & Build Chase Scene, 69, The Road to Wall Jump Mastery, 82, Finds in the Castle, 85, No Jump Snowfield, Patrick 3, Higher Tom Swamp Tower, Sound Frog 1, Cheap Cheap Maze, Yellow Toad 1, Buried Toads, Yellow Toad 3, Stone from the River. While these levels do feature enemies, they don't contain any major roadblocks for us. All 25 of these levels are easy perfect scores. Job number 10, Banzai Bill Ambush. Bullet bills and Banzai bills are much more fragile in the 3D World game style. Collisions cause them to explode, which legally counts as a kill. However, all the Banzai bills in this level are in the background, and poofing off screen is not a kill. Just be careful not to accidentally scratch them and you'll get a perfect score. Job number 16, That's One Hot Car. This level is basically an on-rails shooter. don't even touch that run button. You can get past most of the Goombas and Spinies by hugging the ceiling. The level ends with Bowser Jr. in his own hot rod, complete with Shell Launcher. Even if you avoid letting the shells kill each other, they'll run directly into the lava, burn and die. Or at least that's what I thought at first, but then I did some testing and it turns out the Koopa shells that Junior throws are empty. Also, bonus discovery, if the Koopa Troopa clear condition is active, he throws bob-ombs instead. This means as long as we don't kill Junior himself, we're home free. Final score, 0 kills. Job number 12, tunnel to the dark side of the moon. Buzzy beetles on the ceiling will throw themselves at you when approached, potentially taking out plants in the process. Just be sure to jump on them before that happens. No kills. Job number 14, twisting through the desert sands. The only real roadblock is a power block right near a bunch of munchers blocking the path. Grab it from the side, drop it to safety, and damage boost over them for a perfect score. Job number 17, Swing Claw Swing. The first couple of rooms are simple, but the P-Switch room requires you to time it just right so you don't crush anyone when it wears off. Unfortunately, the room immediately after has you stealing a clown car from a Goomba, which you can only do once it's dead. The only other way to take the path is using the hard blocks from assist mode. No kills. Job number Red Toad, Heavy Stone Heave Ho. This is our first stone level, and with that comes some limitations. Holding the stone reduces your speed and jump height, which inherently makes it harder to avoid enemies. And also makes it harder for enemies to avoid you. But with a little patience, this level is eventually possible with no kills. Job number Green Toad, Head in the Clouds, 21, Snake Blocks in the Sky, 33, Dash on Dash off, 53, Get Over It, 81, Sail the Skies Without Jumping, and Part Trick 2, Darkness Ahead, Darkness Below. Now, most challenge runs I try on this show are pretty impressive, but I'll be even more impressed if you can find a way to somehow kill an enemy in a level that doesn't have enemies. Job number Blue Toad, Little Toad Lost. This escort mission has a lot of bullet bills we have to not jump on, but we can matrix dodge all of them. No kills. Job number 37, Wobbly Seesaw Castle. At the exact moment the level begins, a Koopa gets dropped into lava.
Repito!
At the exact moment the level begins, block off the pipes with hard blocks to prevent the Koopas from falling in the lava. You'll then have to do a literal balancing act to avoid stepping on these Koopas. After the checkpoint, you'll have exactly 1 moment to relax before the chain chomps show up. Keeping them out of the lava is completely redundant, as chain chomps are fireproof, but redundant is just a fancier word for required. Final score? 0 kills. Job number 20, Fire Koopa Clown Carnage. This thing is especially dangerous when Fire Mario is riding it because it shoots 3 fireballs instead of just 1. Luckily, there's a set of Galoombas near the start of the level you can use to take damage, though I did manage to get through the blocks without them. Unfortunately, the level takes us past a set of Sledge Bros, and it's incredibly easy to kill them from above. I did manage to barely squeeze past them once, but the hammers got me on the way down. Someone who's good at video games might be able to do it, but I gave up and made a floor of hard blocks with assist mode and damage boosted through them. And that was just the first half. After dodging the literal fire from piranha plants, we have to squeeze past the rocky wrenches without stepping on them, and try not to poke the plants with our shelmets on the way up. My best score? 0 kills, 1 assist. Job number 38, Ant Trooper March. This is one of the more difficult levels in the run, an auto-scroller with tons of enemies on slopes. While no enemy is impossible to avoid, you have to dodge them pretty quickly to keep up with the camera, which is much harder when you can't slide. I did eventually manage to clear the level with a perfect score. Job number 59, the world's greatest cannon ride. You might be wondering what the Cannonball Clear condition considers to be murder, which is really weird considering the Cannonball Clear condition doesn't actually exist. Since cannons are in the gizmo section of the inventory, I wasn't sure whether to count them as enemies, so I had to find another way for the game to provide its own opinion. The moon item instantly destroys all enemies and projectiles, awarding points for the former but not the latter. Cannonballs don't award points from the moon, so they are legally projectiles, and redirecting them with Mario's feet is fully allowed. No kills. Job number 57, 100 coins under the sea. This level is extremely lucrative, but littered with bloopers. If they're not dying to your fireballs, they're murdering you with homing attacks. Whenever possible, try to lure them into a clear pipe to get them and you out of harm's way. No kills. Job number 54, Angry Angry Sun. The first half of the level just has a few Goombas and multi-moles to worry about, while the second half is no more difficult than usual. Just try not to do a raccoon spin on the sun and you'll get a perfect score. Job number 51, Koopa Clown Car Coin Collecting. Be careful around the bullet bills and there's nothing stopping you from raking in the gold with 0 kills. Job number 29, Begone Rotten Mushroom, plus job number 50, Rotten Produce. Both of these levels are centered around the Rotten Mushroom, which has an Academy Award for Biggest Identity Crisis. It's technically an alternate form of the 1-Up Mushroom, but damages Mario on contact. It doesn't have its own clear conditions, so I tested the moon. $200 points, which makes it an enemy. Weirdly though, it isn't destroyed by power blocks even while grounded, which would make it not an enemy. In the interest of preserving my sanity, I decided to just err on the side of caution. Begone Rotten Mushroom doesn't have anything that can kill it in the first place, and Rotten Produce only has a pair of munches that might crush it if you don't time it right, but it's otherwise a cakewalk. No kills for either level. Job number 32, Ancient Seesaw Fortress. One of the puzzles requires you to don a Goomba shoe to increase your weight, but you can only wear a Goomba shoe by killing the Goomba inside it. The only other method is to use assist mode to place a power block on the seesaw. After the cannon section, you're supposed to use the bob-omb launcher to blow up the plants, but I instead decided to use the damage boost approach. Final score, 0 kills. Job number 28, The Way of the Shell, is through piranha plants. 11 of them to be exact, but by using hard blocks in just the right spots, we can reduce that number to just 5 kills. Just make sure to enter the second pipe first, as it's the easiest one to mess up. You need to just barely graze the shell to get it moving at the perfect speed, otherwise it'll ricochet off the wall and make further casualties. I'm willing to bet that we can somehow save the last plant in the 5th chamber, but I have no idea how. Job number 30, Blink Blank Blunk. Blinking blocks can crush enemies when they fill in, and several of them are overlapping with ant trooper pipes. Assist mode can't help us because hard block can't overlap with them, and since the ant troopers are giant, a 1-tile offset will just crush them instantly. But as long as the blocks are filled in when they load, the pipe won't spawn anything. Time your movements carefully and you'll get a perfect score. Job number 56, BUZZY the Movie, the Book, the Ride. An incredibly lucrative level with tons of Buzzy Beetles trying to ambush you from above, but they'll stop in their tracks if they land on your shellmet. No kills. Job number 44, Bouncing Through the Clouds. Welcome to literal bullet hell. You need to grab 40 coins on the bounciest possible arena while avoiding the infinite onslaught of bullet bills. They die when jumped on, but that's almost never gonna happen. Your own life tends to be a lot shorter. But keep in mind that the lower left bill blaster has coins in it and will dispense exactly 30 of them. Camp at its base and use the trampolines to reach just 1 or 2 big coins and you should get a perfect score just in time for dinner next Thursday. Job number 46, Impassable Castle. Any accusations of false advertising are completely unfounded. The whole gimmick of this level is using thwomps to crush chomps. We could use damage boosts, but the assist mode power-ups are a finite resource. Instead, we're going to use hard blocks to stop the chain jump from moving. Keep in mind that you can't place a block on a tile the enemy is overlapping, so you'll have to time the clapper with the chain jumps bouncing. You'll also need to block off the thwomps at a few points throughout the level, but the final segment can still be beaten legit with no kills. Job number 70, Freezing Rain. This long jump obstacle course ends with a game of mousetrap. You drop the ice, you kill the mice, everyone gets hurt. Unless, of course, you use hard blocks as umbrellas. No kills. Job number 75, Good Lakitu, Bad Lakitu. Most of this level consists of tight jumps over spike tops below while avoiding the power blocks above. The end of the level, though, is just too cruel. The path is blocked by brick blocks which you're supposed to destroy with bob-omb explosions. Since there aren't any mushrooms natively present in the level, I resorted to bringing one in from the outside world. No kills. Job number 42, Save Me Snake Block. Remember when I said Goombas were one of the most fragile enemies? Well, fish bones are made entirely out of glass. If they so much as touch a wall while charging at you, they'll need a full body cast. As if that wasn't bad enough, they're also coming out of pipes from both the top and bottom in an auto-scroller, so simply staying out of their line of sight isn't an option. We can use assist mode to block off the pipes, but only if there's empty space available. And no matter how much I mashed the button, I could never bring up the assist menu before the first fish bones emerged. I even tried placing the blocks before using the door, but they ended up just despawning. With all other options exhausted, I chose to just let the top two fish bones chase me and blocked off what I could. After that is a brief vertical section with some Galoombas who might die to the thwomps or shelmets. Be sure to block them off before that happens. Final score, 2 kills. Job number 58, climbing Twister Cave. The good news is, Twisters aren't considered enemies even to the moon. The bad news is, that doesn't matter. After the checkpoint is a ceiling of hard blocks that you're supposed to blow up with bob-ombs. I considered using assist mode to make a path for them, then block the pipe once enough of them spawned, but that strategy resulted in a soft lock because these bob-ombs aren't self-igniting. So I manually lit and blew up 2 of them to clear the path. Job number Yamamura 1, Airship Flight. The only particularly tricky part for a pacifist run is the end segment with the bloopers, and even then you still have plenty of space to squeeze under them. Not only does this level have a perfect score, it's also my personal favourite place to farm coins once you run out of new levels to play. Job number Yamamura 2, coin collecting on an unmanned airship. Just because it's unmanned doesn't mean there's no one to shoot you. While not nearly as chaotic as bouncing through the clouds, your matrix skills will have to be perfectly on point, especially in the final section with the bullseye bills. No kills. Job number 77, Stone of Destiny. The only hard part is the Koopa room, requiring you to time the shell just right. Otherwise though, the level is an easy perfect score. Job number 80, on-off rail switch. The Twister's hitbox extends underground, and in the first half there are Monty Moles buried there. But they don't emerge until you pass a certain threshold while they're on screen. If you stand on the left edge of the platform, they'll be below the screen when you cross that threshold. Once you get to the checkpoint, you're home free with no kills. Job number 78, Icicle Playground. It's not just mice that can die from these things, especially if you're not careful with your movements. In the second half though, the biggest threat is Mario himself. Literally. Jumping on a giant Goomba normally splits it in 2 without officially killing it, but Big Mario kills them outright. When you get to the Twister, break the ice blocks on the left to make it fall and squeeze through the gap it makes. Damage boost through the next Goomba to prevent the second Twister from interfering, and you should be able to make it with a perfect score. Job number 49, Blinking Block Blitz. There's one piranha plant at the end that might get crushed if the blocks fill in mid-bite, but that shouldn't be an issue if you time it right. Perfect score. Job number 23, Above the Clouds, Beyond the Vines. The checkpoint has a star attached, so you'll have to be extra careful. Not that it matters, since one of the Lakitus throws lit bob-ombs with infinite ammo. At first I thought the kill count for this level would be astronomically high, but then I realized you can't get bullied by a Lakitu if there is no Lakitu. While this plan does require a single kill to execute, that single kill will stop the production line. Unfortunately, since the Lakitu loads before we're able to kill it, there will still inevitably be a couple of bob-ombs that slip through the cracks. I think the lowest possible score here is 2 kills, but the best I've ever done is 3 kills. And yes, I did try using a propeller mushroom, it didn't help. Job number 26, Big Showdown on a Little Star. While I'm not confident in calling the moon an enemy per se, its mere presence is a hazard in itself. If even a single enemy is on screen, and there always is, we have to avoid it like the plague. Unfortunately, Bowser Jr. has the key to the door, forcing you to pry it from his dead hands. 1 kill. Job number 60, Above the Clouds, Not Beyond the Vines. Spin jumping on piranha plants is the key strategy, so just don't grab a fire flower and you'll get a perfect score. Job number 61, Dirty Donuts. Apparently, Nintendo decided to hire Carl Sagan. The only way down is through the donut blocks, which are hard to stand on when getting blown upwards by a Twister. And that's when you're not trying to avoid the Goombas and Monty Moles from above and below. You'll want to try for a zigzagging path to give the maximum getaway time. No kills. Job number 71, on-off Koopa Troopa. A simple series of Koopa escort puzzles, but one where you can't make a single mistake. The room with the conveyor belts is the hardest, requiring absolutely perfect timing to get over a single block. Final score? Perfect. Job number Taskmaster 1, Toad Rescue. Up to this point, I'd only been actually finishing the levels that had perfect scores, and each individual level is optional for an any % run. The Taskmaster's jobs are an exception, being required to beat the game, and the first one is an escort mission in space. The low gravity is a great help to us, but near the end of the level is a large cluster of Goombas. I initially tried jumping from the rightmost bumper, but the cluster is packed too high. Instead, I used the higher bumper on the left, mashed the spin buttons, and got Red Toad back to work with no kills. Job number 73, Lava Bubble Castle. This level is relatively easy until we get to the part with lava bubbles raining from the sky. You're supposed to wear a shelmet to protect yourself, but lava bubbles are one of the few things that shelmets can actually kill. We're gonna have to leave our hard hats at the door. The first chunk of bubbles will always travel on preset paths that will never cross the left edge of the screen. When the Lakitus show up though, yeah, I have no idea. I was too busy flailing around like an idiot to have a strategy. Turns out, they're not mutually exclusive. No kills. Job number 66, Parabeetle Transfer. There's only 2 Goombas here, but they can swim in the air, usually towards you. Try to lure them to the left before jumping over them, and you should get a perfect score. Job number 67, Boom Boom Rager. Once a Boom Boom spots you, he'll follow you to the ends of the earth, or at least the nearest pit. After the checkpoint, there will probably still be one that will fall off screen, which you can identify by the screen shaking. But remember, our penalty for killing is to die, which allows us to respawn at the checkpoint with all Boom Booms still alive. No kills. Job number Taskmaster 2, Operation Total Eclipse. The path to each Toad ends with a set of brick blocks which you're supposed to destroy by releasing a lit Bob-omb. Once you reach the Toad, you can't backtrack, and assist mode is no help to us. We're forced to kill 4 Bob-ombs to finish this level and continue the story. Job number 63, On-Off Switcheroo. Most of the switches can only be triggered by the Fire Clown Car's charge shot, which isn't exactly helpful with Hammer Bros around. At this fork, you'll want to go on the lower path as you're less likely to take damage there. Immediately after is a set of munchers you're supposed to crush, so just damage boost across them to reach the checkpoint. Make sure you wait until they're completely off screen before hitting the next switch. Bowser has a lot of HP, but charge shots do a lot of damage, so wait until he jumps before going for the hard blocks. Final score? Perfect. Job number 79, Skip Squeak Towers. The keys we need to progress through the level are guarded by giant skipsqueaks, which means we have to kill them. The third one is a spiny skipsqueak, requiring us to kill it from the side. Super Mario can only do so by sliding on the conveyor belts, taking out the smaller skipsqueaks in the process. Rather than try to thread any needles, I decided to use the good old-fashioned food chain. 3 kills. Job number 8, Shoestopper. You're supposed to get past the munchers by wearing a Goomba shoe, but we can't do that. Luckily, the first half of the level has plenty of super mushrooms we can use to damage boost past them instead. After the checkpoint though is this giant's pit of spike traps that also requires a damage boost. The only mushroom around here is in an area we can't access without the stiletto. The checkpoint itself luckily does give you one when triggered, but you can only trigger it once. If we want to avoid assist mode, we have to finish the level in one straight shot. Dying after the checkpoint effectively soft locks the level. After a few retries, I managed to get a perfect run with a perfect score. Job number 18, Treetop Fireballs. There's a heavy fire bro parked near the top of the screen, but you can get past him with enough patience. No kills. Job number 83, Red Yoshi's Highway of Flames. One of the stacks of Spinies touches the poison before it can scroll off screen, and Spinies are not vaccinated. We'll have to use hard blocks to keep their toes dry. The goal is guarded by a stack of Kamex who will transform the blocks in front of them into enemies that will drown immediately. Make a floor to save them and you should be fine. No kills. Job number 84, Secrets of the Drybone Shell. This room can only be cleared by taking out the munchers blocking the pipe with a power block. The dev intended method is to take out the Boo to drop his muncher onto the conveyor belt so the shell can reach it. But we don't have to do that if we place a hard block at the muncher's resting spot. 6 kills. Job number 86, Winter and Spring and Winter again. The last obstacle is a set of piranha plants which you're supposed to kill with icicles in the winter. Instead, we can damage boost through them in the spring. Turns out, this even leads to a 30 coin. It's almost as if the devs knew I'd be doing this challenge. Job number 87, Big Bang Boom in Bully Castle. Lava is one of the only things that can kill a bully, and the section where it rises is the hardest. While the crate can support the bully's weight, the reverse is not true, so you'll have to pull out your inner bandicoot. There's also a bunch of bob-omb launchers, so make sure you block them off before they fire. No kills. Job number 88, Monty Mole Iceberg Getaway. Speedrun strats are your best friend in this one, letting you clear each mole just before it surfaces. I also recommend taking a detour with Yoshi, letting you skip a good chunk of the second half with a perfect score. Job number 89, Just a Normal Everyday Castle. As we all know, normal everyday castles include lava moats, which this Koopa will burn up in. Make a floor with hard blocks at both ends to protect it, then jump on it to stop it. After the clown car is a long hallway in which there are a couple of Goomba stats ready to take a hot bath, so plug them up too. Unfortunately, the latter half of the level has you go back through here on the top. I tested in the editor, and it seems like one of the Goomba stats will always fall in the instant it spawns on this trip. Adding it onto the one bob-omb we needed to get through a wall in between, this level has a best score of 4 kills. Job number 90, Invincible Windsprinter. That one took a while. Job number on Doodog 3, Chain Chomp Chiller. The level ends with a star that you're supposed to use to ram through all the chain chomps. We're not allowed to jump in this level, so instead we're gonna fly over it. No kills. Job number Taskmaster 3, Meowser Showdown. This is the final level of the any % run, and it will definitely test your pacifism skills. When you get to the bully, knock it towards the left edge to prevent it from engaging with a nearby Banzai Bill Blaster. There's a 1-up at the checkpoint, effectively giving you infinite tries, which unfortunately you are going to need. The warp pipe drops you straight onto a Koopa Troopa car, taking out its owner in the process. I have been able to squeeze past this section without killing him, but the rising lava finished the job anyway, and besides, without the car, we can't outrun the lava ourselves or run across the multiple spike blocks. There are several more enemies in the car's path. If you don't kill them, the lava will, unless they happen to despawn first. I only managed to successfully do this for one skip squeak though. Thanks to a jump over a boom boom and a piranha creeper that's immune to lava, the best I could do on my own was 14 kills, plus one more for getting the key from Meowser. But then I remembered, Mario's not the only one here! There's not much we can do about the first 3 piranha plants, but if you put a pair of hard blocks in front of the 4th, you can bounce off him and still let him live. When you get back to the right side afterwards, ditch the car and place another hard block platform above the spikes along with a super bell. This will allow you to tank the spike block damage all the way to the warp box. One last note, if you move any further left than this arrow, a Banzai Bill will spawn in and explode. This will also happen at the top of the level unless you spam long jumps. Final score, including Meowser, 6 kills. This brings the any % total to 10 kills and 1 assist, but we've still got a few levels left. Job number Yamamura 3, Summer Shootout. The very first screen requires you to kill a Shoe Goomba in order to open the door, but from there it's nothing but cannonballs. 1 kill. Job number Mr. Eraser 1, Molten Rain, Mr. Eraser 2, Spiny Busters, Mr. Eraser 3, Target a Single Pom-Pom, Purple Toad 1, Power Block Wake Up Call, Purple Toad 2, Piranha's Creeper Squashed, 27, Red Yoshi's Cheap Cheap Cleanup, 39, Fly-By-Night Clown Car, 48, Dry Bones Lava Lurker, and 74, Blooper Barrage. All of these levels feature the very clear conditions we're using to define murder. Since the goal literally doesn't exist until the clear condition is met, their completion is locked behind doors with murder-shaped keyholes. Clearing all 9 of them adds a total of 75 kills between them. Fly-by-Night Clown Car in particular is a shooter level with a metric ton of enemies, making it hard not to exceed the quota, but against all logic, I managed to beat it on the first try. Job number Patrick 1, House of Exclamation Blocks. The climb goes past several bill blasters with bullet bills in them, so we'll have to block them off. At one point we do have to crush one, but the blaster itself doesn't count as killing its ammo. The final exclamation block though is a little trickier. We're supposed to activate it continuously with a Koopa shell, but doing so puts the dislodged Koopa in jeopardy. There is one more solution though. Ground pound, then immediately jump to the left to get on top of it with no kills. Job number Soundfrog 2, Hold Your Breath. This is an underwater level that requires us not to resurface, but that's only half the challenge. The other half is the dozens of Kameks that decided to have a pool party. Kamek can teleport wherever he wants, making it hard to avoid accidentally stomping on him, and that's just Kamek himself. If one of his projectiles hits a block, it will transform into a random power-up or enemy. On one occasion, it turned into a lit Bob-omb, which was a run-ender. And if he hits the base of the flagpole, it will vanish until that specific Kamek is killed. We could try to block it off with assist mode, or we can just get to the flag first with sluggish swimming physics. But then I remembered that Mario swims faster while holding an item, and there just so happens to be a block with a P-switch inside it we can grab. Final score? Perfect, but just barely. Job number Soundfrog 3, Sea of Sorrow. Right out of the gate is another locked door, and this time it's guarded by Boo Buddies. We need to defeat every Boo in the ring to get the key, and each individual Boo counts as its own separate kill. And none of the assist parts have the ability to kill them, so we have to steal a Goomba Shoe to get the job done. Total, 9 kills.
Hang on a minute there, Doc. You forgot about the Superstar. Even Boos aren't immune to its power, and its collection doesn't add on any more kills. This does make the rest of the level more difficult without a Goomba Shoe, but as long as you can damage boost off the Muncher at the checkpoint, it's not impossible.
Oh, alright then. I guess that's -1 kill and +1 assist. Thank you, Cedric. Job number Princess Peach 1, Let's Go Builder Mario. The Super Hammer is powerful enough to break thwomps, and the game expects you to do that several times. But we can get past every thwomp by baiting it out and going above or below. The same cannot be said for the Piranha Creepers. While they only die once fully retracted, they're still not invincible. And their stems are solid, so we can't just damage boost through them. We can, however, damage boost under them, then deal just enough damage to the long one to get past. This one, though, blocks the entire path, so we are forced to kill it. The ant troopers at the end are annoying, but can be dealt with using good builder box placement. 1 kill. Job number Princess Peach 2, March of the Rookie Toads. The main downside of having 10 toads trailing behind you is that they're 10 times as likely to get hurt and float all the way back to the start. We can't just escort them one by one either. It's all of them or none of them. There's a Goomba stack near the start of the level that I can never get around without losing at least one toad, so I opted to use hard blocks to keep them in place. Then there's the Rocky Wrenches, whose projectiles were equally annoying, and while it might theoretically be possible to get through with just Super Mario, I decided to cheat with the Propeller Mushroom. There is still the Hammer Bro to deal with, but we can stand under him and use our position to influence where he throws his hammers. Final score, 0 kills. Job number Yellow Toad 2, Cat Scratch Stone. We hit a roadblock almost immediately in the form of this section with the dry bones. We can't go over him with the stone's reduced jump height, and we can't go under him either due to the brick blocks. I tried breaking them, but the Cat Scratch's hitbox is too tall. I was able to break just the bottom layer with a pounce attack, but we can't fit through the gap while holding the stone. We could try using Small Mario, but the later brick wall makes this unviable. I initially got through here by making a staircase out of hard blocks. But while editing this video, I realized there was a better strategy. Remember how dry bones die from hitting the block below them? That does not apply when destroying it from above. This doesn't give us a perfect score, unfortunately, since there's an unavoidable Banzai bill later, but it does at least reduce our assist part count. Total, 1 kill. Job number Purple Toad 3, Spiny Shell Smashers. There are 2 thwomps we have to get past with a Spiny Shelmet, which you're supposed to do by killing them. There isn't enough space to trigger only one thwomp at a time, so instead I use an assist block to stop one from moving. From there, the rest of the level can be cleared with no kills. Job number 41, the Underground Menace. The entrance to the level requires us to kill a piranha creeper to enter the pipe, but all remaining creepers can just be stealthed around. 1 kill. Job number 55, Koopa Troopa Car Go. Another Koopa car obstacle course, and this time the car is part of the clear condition. My first attempt at this level gave me 15 kills. 15! So I went back to the drawing board and I realized the only way to reduce it is to be a good driver. There's nothing we can do about the car's owner or the first plant, so jump over the second. Instead of jumping to the mushroom, dismount the car while facing left. Wait for the third plant to nudge it, then jump over it with a running start. On your way up, turn left right at the edge of the platform so you can jump onto it the instant you start accelerating. Jump at the absolute edges of the next couple platforms, making sure to dismount at the giant Koopa. If you time it right, the car should now be on the other side. Turn again at the conveyor belt to get up to the top level. I've yet to figure out how to save the last 2 Koopas legit, so just put up a roof of hard blocks. Make sure you leave a gap at the end so you have enough momentum for the thwomps. The Fire Bro is in too narrow a path to avoid, but we can still make it to the Spinies. Jump over the first 2, then dismount so the car lands in front of the third. Wait for it to walk up the belt, then place 2 more hard blocks to boost up. And just like that, we've reduced this level's death toll to just 3 kills. Job number 65, Red Power Block on the move. Red power blocks will kill almost anything in the blast radius, which is largely the point of this level. You can get past the piranha plants by going over them since Dr. Gizmo forgot to extend the wall upwards. The same cannot be said for this jerk who decided to grow sideways. But if we set off the power at the very edge of the slope, we can trigger the block and damage boost through the bottom one. One more well-timed throw to get past a Sting Bee and we've got a perfect score. Job number 72, Shoes in the Clouds. I once again tried going barefoot here, and while I was able to damage boost past the munchers, I couldn't get past the thwomp immediately after. So I brought in a Tanuki Leaf to ride it. Another damage boost will get you through the plants, and from there the level is easy. No kills. Job number 76, launching bob-ombs collecting coins. The coins we need are in the air and you're expected to knock them down with bob-ombs. We could use a cape feather to reach them, but we only get 1. Not that we even need it because there's a better strategy. A good chunk of the early coins can be reached just by jumping from the nearby Bill Blaster. There are a couple of fish bones on the way, but they won't die if they despawn off screen before hitting something. The same applies to the bob-ombs, so don't worry too much about accidentally stepping on them as long as you have a decent run speed. At the end of the level is our old nemesis Kamek, who has turned over a new leaf. We can use his magic to knock down the trampoline and use it to jump up to the coins. You'll need to time it extremely carefully though, both to avoid killing the Cloud Riders and to avoid being killed. After an hour of attempts, I finally achieved perfection. And that marks our 119th level, but there's still one more challenge the game has to offer. And what better place to finish this than where it all started? Job number Princess Peach 3, Super Mario Bros. World 1-1? Make no mistake, this is not a place for little Timmy. Right at the halfway point is a lone Goombrat on a spike trap that you're supposed to bounce off. This section is absolutely impossible if you don't reach it with a super mushroom, and even then it has to be a pixel-perfect jump to land on the spike trap, followed by another one to land on the ground afterwards. There's still a regular gauntlet to get through, so do not mess up now. With just a few more perfect jumps, we can make it all the way to Bowser without killing a single enemy. With every single story mode level cleared, the Mario Maker 2 Pacifist run ends with a final score of 126 kills and 23 levels cleared with assist parts. That number is a lot higher than I'd prefer, but there's almost certainly some tricks that I missed. If anyone wants to try shaving a few kills off, I highly recommend it. Also, why is there an elephant over here? Yep, that's right, there's still another 21 Nintendo levels to get through. And worst of all, assist mode is completely absent. Ninja Speedrun 1, Rolling Snowballs. Spike balls and snowballs are legally projectiles, but they are capable of killing just about anything they collide with. This includes the pokies if hit on the head, but there is a way to minimize the damage. When a spike starts spawning its ammo, it's locked into the direction it's facing until the throw is complete. By timing our movements carefully, we can save all but one pokey from getting bowled over. 1 kill. Ninja Speedrun 2, The Speed Venture of Link. The first piranha plants can be cleared with Link's dash jump, but there's a lot of spike balls that we have to worry about. The first one can be destroyed by its brethren if you load it fast enough, though there's nothing we can do about this plant or these pokies. The most pacifist route here is to snipe the sledge bro and blow up the wall. Total 4 kills. Ninja Speedrun 3, The 10 Coin of Deep Woods. This one is a surprisingly easy perfect score. Ninja Speedrun 4, Cat Mario Dash. There's a piranha creeper annoyingly placed in a really tight space. No matter what, one of you is going down. Your best bet is to squeeze through as Small Mario, but even then it's mostly down to luck. No kills. Ninja Speedrun 5, Banzai Bill Cliff Climb, and Ninja Speedrun 6, Swinging Claw Flyway. Both of these levels are super easy to clear with perfect scores. Ninja Speedrun 7, Headgear Hustle. Believe it or not, the red power blocks is completely optional. No kills. Ninja Speedrun 8, Balloon Race. The only enemy here is a single thwomp that you can't kill in the first place. Ninja Speedrun 9, Yoshi's Piranha Plant Picnic. This level has the Piranha Plant clear condition, which means murder is required. 25 kills. Ninja Speedrun 10, Player's Choice Power-Up Party. We're given a choice of 4 power-ups to use, but the Super Hammer is the only correct choice. Unlike the others, Builder Mario can break hard blocks on his own. Use builder boxes to get over the Piranha Creeper, then make a staircase to get past the fence. Make sure you jump over the track block so it doesn't push the bully to its death. As long as you don't lose your hammer, you should get a perfect score. Also, fun fact, you can actually use builder boxes to stop Piranha Creepers from moving. Ninja Speedrun 11, Big Shoes Gustin' in the Desert. The whole level revolves around using Goomba shoes to remove munchers blocking the path, but there's shade potential in every nook and cranny. After the pyramid, take out the bottom muncher to get the shoe Goomba to ground level, then let it displace the stack above and swap shoes. While it does take a few extra kills to get the winged shoe, doing so allows us to shave even more than we could with the normal one. My best score? 16 kills. Ninja Speedrun 12, Squirrely Airship Escapades. Turns out you can't kill what you can fly over. No kills. Ninja Speedrun 13, At the Croak of Midnight. This one took quite a few attempts due to the high density of enemies on blocks. Almost none of the big coins are obtainable, but there's still plenty left over. No kills. Ninja Speedrun 14, 35th Anniversary Auto Mario. Turns out, killing the first Goomba is so iconic you can do it without touching the controller. We'll have to completely ignore the level name and actually play it. With proper routing and controlled speed, you should get a perfect score. Ninja Speedrun 15, Cannon Box Blast. The end of the level expects us to blow up a thwomp, but there's nothing stopping you from just sneaking under it. No kills. Ninja Speedrun 16, Goombud Bust Up. Another level that forces us to kill 30 Goombuds, but the hard part was trying not to kill anything else, like this Bullet Bill, or this Piranha Plant, or this Sledge Bro. Ultimately, the bare minimum is achievable, but it is not easy. Ninja Speedrun 17, SMB2 Mario, Can You Dig It? Once again, we've got some spike damage control to do. At the munchers, block the snowballs with each other, then book it onto the icicles before we can throw any more. Immediately after is a set of piranha plants blocking the clouds you need to dig through. Instead of using one of Spike's snowballs, use one of your own to take out just the leftmost plant. 1 kill. Ninja Speedrun 18, Bones Shellscape, and Ninja Speedrun 19, Cape Mario Master. Both of these levels are easy. Nothing more to say. Ninja Speedrun 20, Bowser's Castle, The Last Dash. At the exact moment the level begins, jump on the Mecha Koopa and bounce it away, then make sure the spike throws its ball to the left before proceeding. One other Mecha Koopa will inevitably die to the giant spike ball, and flipping the switch will kill 2 more enemies. Wait out the star before going past Junior, just in case. There's no way to damage boost through Bowser, as he's considered solid in this style, so we will have to take him out. Final score, 4 kills. Ninja Speedrun 21 Link's lightweight long shots. The clear condition here is triggering power blocks. Do you see the problem? Almost every single enemy is within their range, meaning lots of required kills and very little wiggle room. The only tricks I've got are shooting these 3 powers from the far left, and making the moles either despawn off screen or bump into each other. My best score? 19 kills. With the final Ninja speedrun completed, our final total, for real this time, is 226 kills. As I said though, I encourage you all to try shaving that total down. This was definitely a fun challenge to play. If you want to watch the run, I've got a no commentary playlist you can check out. And if you want to play any of my levels, including my Bible-themed Super World, I'll leave my Maker ID in the description. Plus, let me know in the comments what you want me to do next. I'm torn between Crash Bandicoot without boxes or Mario Galaxy with the GameCube controller. I'll definitely do both eventually, but let me know which I should do first. That's all for now, and I will see you down under.